Correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation.
Since we haven't talked about it in a few weeks, tonight we got to give you an update on the subject of immigration and mass deportations, because on one hand, there are a lot of positive signs we've already seen from the Trump administration. For instance, within hours of him first becoming president, the southern border was suddenly secured, and that's not exactly a mystery. It's a simple fact that when you actually have the political will to secure the border, you can secure the border, and within the first few days, border crossings dropped to almost close to 0 per day. It's really not a lot of people trying to even cross the southern border. We also have Trump, with a tariff threat against Canada and Mexico, got them to cave to help increase their security at the border. And of course, he also got the presidents of Colombia and many other Latin American countries to cave and accept the deportations flights headed to their countries full of their citizens. So that's the good news. The bad news, however, is that while deportations are happening, they're really, and a lot of people in the MAGA base are rightly pointing this out, this is far from an invalid criticism, there are not enough deportations happening per day. Now, this is not exactly a secret to President Trump and Tom Homan. Apparently, according to reporting from the Washington Post, which there seems to be strong indication the Trump White House wanted this to leak out. That's one rule of the Susan Wiles White House. Nothing leaks to the press that we don't want leaked to the press. Okay, it's a very professional operation, so keep that in mind. They told the press this, because they wanted their own people, I think, to know. It has now come out that President Trump and Tom Homan are unhappy with the deportation total. So even they are saying, look, this is not enough. We promised mass deportation. We need to improve. We need to get better. And so that's absolutely understandable. It's early on in the presidency, but what are we going to do about it? And what exactly is the issue right now impeding us from truly being able to do mass deportations? Because we're doing deportations, but not mass deportations. We'll go over that today, and we'll also give you an important update because apparently the subversive actors trying to stop the deportations in American bureaucratic and national intelligence agencies, many of the people that Doge and Kash Patel and people like that are trying to get rid of got exposed and are now going to be criminally prosecuted as of tonight. But first, do us a big favor. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you've not done so already. Okay, you subscribing is the best way to support our work, and let's continue the push to 1 million subscribers. Channel's been doing great for the past couple of days now. I really appreciate the support. Let's keep the momentum going. And with that said, okay, so when it comes to, why are mass deportations not happening at the pace that we want? I think there are 3 major reasons for this. I'll go over them one by one here. I think first and foremost, the simple fact of the matter is that ICE as an agency is not big enough, right? You're talking about a government agency that really was always meant to root out what they're currently doing, right? Public safety threats, violent criminals, terrorist threats, etc., right? That's who they're talking about. ICE, as it currently exists in terms of their staffing numbers, was always meant to be a specialized enforcement agency, not someone that's just going to go all around America and be rounding up like virtually every single illegal immigrant. So step number 1, again, to ensuring mass deportations is, President Trump recently just met with Senate Republicans and John Thune to discuss the upcoming budget. You need to hire a lot more ICE agents. We need to expand ICE as an agency to be way bigger than it is now if we want deportations. Now, the good news on that front is, one thing Trump joked about, and at least we thought he was kind of joking, right, around the inauguration season, was that, remember those 87,000 IRS agents that Biden tried to hire to harass ordinary taxpayers and working class people? Well, there's a whole drama there, but apparently now Trump has been calling to say, look, why don't we take those 87,000 IRS agents and have them go and secure the border or help out with immigration? And of course, a lot of people were like, haha, that's such a funny joke. But apparently, according to Kristi Noem, as of Super Bowl Sunday, apparently she has now put in a formal request to actually send those 87,000 new IRS agents to deal and help out with ICE, and it definitely goes without saying that will massively help the staffing shortages that agency currently deals with. And again, that's kind of step one to ensuring that this type of low deportation number does not continue till the end of the presidency.
Crossing moments ago, IRS agents could soon be going on immigration raids. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem asking the Treasury Department to deputize their agents to help arrest and remove migrants from the United States. So far, no response on this plan from the Treasury.
I mean, hey, if that ends up happening, at least the IRS will be used for something good for once, right? But again, I definitely think, and I hope this has already been proposed, the next budget, you have to make it a big thing, a big deal. Hire way more ICE agents. We need to vastly expand border enforcement. Of course, the Democrats are going to say, I thought you were against government waste. Yeah, we're against government waste. Securing our border, defending our national sovereignty, that's far from wasteful. And, we're perfectly happy to spend our tax dollars on that. But again, issue number one, ICE is not big enough. Of course, issue number two, and I think it kind of coincides with issue number one, is that we need, in my opinion, the local police departments and state police of a lot of these different places to assist ICE in immigration raids and deportations. In fact, I would go so far as to say I think we should basically deputize all of them to do the same job as ICE, right? If they find illegal immigrants, if they catch illegal immigrants, if they know about illegal immigrants that are, on the priority list or whatever, or even not, right? Feel free. States have the full authority to, assist and kind of carry out deportations themselves. It shouldn't be an issue. We shouldn't have to wait for ICE to go around the country finding everyone. And of course, sanctuary cities are going to be a big issue standing in the way of that, because as it turns out, a lot of Democrat states and cities are not willing to cooperate. But of course, Tom Homan is also promising he's going to try to drop the hammer on them as much as possible as well. Take a listen to that.
Well, sanctuary cities, they're putting up every roadblock possible. Rather than arresting the bad guy in a county jail, it takes one agent to arrest a bad guy when they gets arrested and put in a county jail. We got to send the whole team to the neighborhood. So it's very difficult in sanctuary cities, but we're going to keep coming. What are we doing about sanctuary cities? I'm going to double the manpower in those sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities, if we can't get them in their homes, we'll get them a place of employment. We're going to have large-scale worksite enforcement operation. So we're going to send more resources. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming with more. We're going to increase the targeting in those cities. We're going to give full steam ahead on sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are becoming the priority. Why? Because they're protecting public safety threats and national security threats. So we're going to double manpower. We're going to double operations. We're going to double targeting. We're coming full bore, and they're not going to stop us. I'm taking this seriously. I don't sleep well at night because I'm afraid of the people that are walking the streets here every day because sanctuary cities will protect them. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. Bottom line. So we're going to do everything we can to find them, regardless of what it takes. We got a strong president in the White House that's giving us all the authority we need. We're coming.
Okay, so again, just to recap here, issue number one, ICE is not big enough. Issue number two, we need cooperation from state and local governments. No more sanctuary cities. We need anti-sanctuary cities, essentially. So, that's kind of where we are. But issue number three, and I'd say the third current roadblock to ensuring mass deportations and carrying out the mandate and the promise of President Trump is actually, as it turns out, mass and rank subversion. Okay, subversion and non-compliance within the inner workings of the federal government. Because as it turns out, you guys might have seen this actually on message boards or somewhere. There's been a lot of behavior where anonymous users are going on the internet and leaking information about ICE raids beforehand, right? Basically, hey, ICE is going to be here. Don't show up there. Blah, 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 this and that on all over social media, all over the message boards. Well, apparently, okay, you got to think to yourself logically here for a second. That information has to be coming from somewhere. Either it's just totally made up, it's just totally false, or because how do you get the information of an ICE raid ahead of time? It is coming from some type of insider within the government, right? You have insider, subversive rogue people who are trying to leak the information that they know that they have a security clearance to see from the government to the public, and hence allowing these illegal aliens to evade deportation. Well, as it actually turns out, okay, Tom Homan, and this is a big consequence of Pam Bondi now being obviously confirmed as the Attorney General, the DOJ has already identified those who have leaked the details of the ICE raids. So there you go. We found the rogue people, we found the leakers, but get this right here. Apparently those leakers are nowhere else than, get this, the FBI. That is right. It was revealed tonight by Tom Homan on, I believe, Fox News, that FBI agents, rank and file subversion within the agency, were the ones leaking the information of ICE raids to the American public. Take a listen right here.
Where are these leaks coming from?
Well, look, we think it's coming from inside, and we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation. And they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it. We got the DHS IG investigating the first one. Have a pretty good idea what happened. Can't share a lot because it's under investigation, but the IG's opened up a criminal investigation on the second one. We're sending a strong message. It's just not, giving the bad guys a heads up so they can escape apprehension. Right? We're arresting, giving, the Venezuela gang a heads up so we can't arrest them. You're putting officers' lives at risk. It's only a matter of time if we walk into a place where there's going to be a bad guy doesn't care. He's going to be sitting and wait for the officers to show up and ambush them. This is not a game. So DHS and DOJ are connected at hip to hold these people responsible in a criminal fashion.
So there you heard, again, first of all of their evidence seems to point to the fact that these leakers came from none other than the FBI. Of course, it's the Democrats that are saying that Elon Musk and Trump are the ones with an unelected shadow government. It's like, no, that's an unelected shadow government right there. You literally have subversion, you have non-compliance, you have just total, sabotage actually going on from rogue FBI agents to, the rest of the federal government, defying the president, defying what they're actually supposed to do, breaking the law, as you can clearly see. And guys, this should not be surprising to anyone as much as they call us conspiracy theorists. Yes, the FBI in many ways is a rogue agency. There's a big reason why conservatives have had a problem with the FBI and its behaviors for a very long time. Many of the things it's involved in are openly anti-American and unconstitutional. And yes, we do need a mass investigation of a lot of people within their ranks. I don't know, I'm just saying. But this is also why, guys, it is so important to confirm President Trump's cabinet picks immediately, because notice how these leakers were, I think you probably heard about this, they started doing this in like the first week of Trump's presidency. Like, this has been going on for a very long time, but it was not until Pam Bondi got in as Attorney General that they could actually investigate this and get to the bottom of this. That's why DOJ was so important. Well, now you have FBI. Again, given the context here that it's apparently, allegedly FBI agents who are leaking this information, that's why Kash Patel, Trump's director of the FBI, needs to be confirmed immediately. And yet you have, the Democrats tried to do this stunt over the weekend where they basically delayed the vote. I don't know if they filibustered or something, but they basically used the parliamentarian to delay his nomination vote, and John Thune just sat there and let it happen. No. These people all need to be confirmed immediately. We need Kash Patel at the FBI. We need Tulsi Gabbard at National Intelligence, which is scheduled to happen this week. RFK Jr., obviously. Like, we cannot wait anymore for this, because so long as you are, this is what's happening. Rank and file, subversion, mutiny, etc. It needs to be rooted out. But number two, the good news, right? Not only are these people being fired, as Tom Homan announced, this has now become a criminal investigation, and the people who are doing this are going to be prosecuted and more likely than not sent to prison, because what they did is a serious crime. This is yet another case of FAFO, right? F around and find out that has happened under the Trump administration. And it seems like a daily lesson. I'm really not sure at what point people are just not going to get the idea that, look, stop messing with the Trump administration. Stop trying to undermine federal authority or like hide what you're doing from the government or something, in terms of if you work in the federal bureaucracy like this. Because, in the case of USAID, for instance, they refused to let Elon Musk basically see what they were doing. They were like, haha, we're going to say no. And then surely the Trump administration won't do anything. And then 2 days later, Trump basically all but shuts down USAID and fires like 13,000 people. I'm just saying, another case of F around and find out. Of course, even on this immigration issue, you have the president of Colombia. The president of Colombia said, we're not going to take in any deportation flights. It's inhumane. And Trump said, okay, we're going to sanction Colombia. And Colombia's like, no, Mr. President, please don't let us do that. Okay. Mexico and Canada with the tariffs. We see the same story over and over again. And yet still, okay, even within our own government, these people still seem to think that they can undermine Trump. They can do illegal things to sabotage the administration and they won't get caught. State Department, by the way, that was another example with, the DEI stuff. All of this, okay? I don't know when they learn their lesson. And guys, it still has not stopped even on the immigration front, because apparently now you have these sanctuary cities are not just refusing to help federal authorities with deportations, but they are actually, according to Savannah Hernandez and TPUSA here, many Democrat cities are trying to assist in sheltering these illegal aliens away from immigration enforcement. And some of these illegal aliens do indeed involve actual violent criminals. Take a listen to what's apparently happening out of the city of Boston. And I'm just once again going to say, do we need to have another episode here of F around and find out? Because how many times does this need to happen before you guys learn your lesson? Stop trying to provoke and undermine federal authority.
Ningún policía trabaja con los federales. La policía no trabaja con los federales. Boston es una ciudad santuaria, 100%.
What's up, guys? This is Savannah Hernandez in the sanctuary city of Boston, Massachusetts. Now, I came to this area because this is one of 4 cities that is currently making headlines for pushing back against federal immigration law. And I wanted to bring you to one of the hotels that is still actively housing illegal immigrants in the city of Boston. Now, Governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, just this week allocated another $425 million in pandemic-era funding to housing migrants through June of 2025. I actually had somebody pose as an illegal immigrant and go into City Hall to try to get an idea of what illegal immigrants are being told here in the city of Boston and what they're being offered.
Boston, que es donde están dando los vouchers para vivienda, que se llama Metro Housing Boston. Vía esta página es donde hacen las citas para que pueda ir un día de esos y ponga su caso y ver en qué tipo de ayuda en caso de vivienda le pueden ofrecer ellos. Okay. Para buscar un lugar en donde le puedan aceptar un voucher y Dios primero que le pudiera salir un apartamento. O le pueden dar fondos para que usted dé el entry para un apartamento. O hay edificios que agarran sección 8, le dan el voucher que es un sección 8.
Now, this is a tactic that a lot of these sanctuary cities are using. They will bring migrants a little bit out of the city into hotels just like this one before trying to give them permanent housing and dispersing them throughout the state. Now, I'm focusing in on Boston because we are going to have 4 mayors that are going to be speaking in front of a House Oversight Committee next month regarding their sanctuary policies, more specifically, their pushback against federal immigration law. Those consist of course, the Boston mayor, the Chicago, Denver, and New York City mayor. They're all going to be there next month. Now, some of the main talking points that we keep hearing from these sanctuary city mayors are, well, we can still be compassionate and welcoming without sacrificing public safety. But one of the reasons I brought you guys to this hotel specifically is because here in Boston, for example, their mayor keeps saying that this is one of America's safest cities. In this hotel just a couple weeks ago, an illegal immigrant was arrested with 5,000 grams of fentanyl and an AR-15.
Well, my challenge there to the mayors of these sanctuary cities is, again, F around and find out. Like, you have seen the track record of what has happened when governmental officials try to go against the Trump administration, oftentimes illegally. Okay, you just see this over and over again. And how many times do you need to be taught this lesson? Stop sheltering violent illegal aliens who are literally violent. Okay, we're not like straw manning. They're literally violent from federal immigration authorities. We are coming. Okay, Tom Homan is not going to play around. Like, I'm just telling you this right now. Okay, just look at the track record. And if you don't believe me, ask Speedy Gonzalez. Just saying.
Just joining us, it was just reported that famous celebrity cartoon actor Speedy Gonzalez was arrested early this morning by U.S. immigration officers. According to the report, Gonzalez was seen trying to elude the ICE officers' trap by running extremely fast while yelling in broken English. Also arrested with Speedy was his cousin Slowpoke Rodriguez, better known as the slowest mouse in all Mexico, with both mice expected to remain in ICE custody pending their removal proceedings.
Okay, no, but in all seriousness, hopefully the first month or so of the Trump administration is a learning lesson in terms of what needs to be done now. Okay, just to reiterate here once again. Number one, hire more ICE agents. You need to expand the capacity of Federal Immigration Authority. They're trying their hardest right now, but simply put, like, they do not have enough people. That is absolutely true. And I think with all the cuts that are about to be made to other agencies, you can fully justify an expansion of ICE. And again, I do think that is essential and justifiable in terms of national security, etc. Number two, you got to get local cooperation, okay? You got to stop all the sanctuary city behavior, find a way to go after it, or just not have to deal with it, right? Get them out of the way somehow where, you know, you can basically just do your jobs. Or heck, who knows? Maybe in some ways these sanctuary cities are making it easier because it's like, okay, you're putting them all up in these hotels. That means immigration knows exactly where they're staying, just saying. But of course, number three, most importantly, arguably, you got to get everyone in the federal government on the same page. No more leaking, no more subversion. Glad to see that this person who was doing it, or this group of people who are doing it, first of all, are arrested. And let's all sit around and hope that they make an example, I should say, out of these people, and it doesn't happen again. So with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.